Hello, Wranglers. How you doing? This is a test to see if I'm streaming here, and then discuss a few things. I don't see anybody in chat yet, so I don't think there's anybody watching. Let me go check my other thing there. Check the channel itself, and how frustrating it can be to. Golly, I'm not even trying to talk. I know how frustrating it can be to have somebody say, "Oh, go do the thing, and then do the other thing, and then do this," and you have no idea what they're talking about. And I run into that a lot. I was talking with my wife the other night, and she was saying, "Well, all you got to do is do the thing with the other thing," and I'm like, and then use that thing, and that's what she was saying. I had absolutely no idea what we were talking about. Now I think we were trying to clean something, and I don't remember, but now we're gonna see. We're not gonna. I mean, I don't mean we're gonna see. We're gonna do a little bit of a chit chat here, and I'm gonna tell you about my week. And why am I going to tell you about my week? Because it was a very scary week. Okay, John Anthony Dixon. That's Tony. Hey, Tony. Why what? Anyway. I'm asking Tony, my friend Tony, why. No, I was going to tell about my week because it started out pretty bad. Started out, I think it was Tuesday morning. I was in the shower trying to get out, and I fell, landed on my back, landed with my legs curled up underneath me. My ankle was completely twisted. My legs, I don't even know how to describe them. I remember the fall, of course. I remember falling, and I remember looking at my legs, but I can't remember exactly what they looked like. I mean, Jennifer, my wife, says my leg was curled up underneath me, and she was convinced the way my legs were all akimbo, that I had broken them. It sure felt like I had, but I didn't hit my head, thank goodness. And then, long story short, we called I always say that, we called the fire department that day, and they got me out of the tub and put me in a chair. They kept asking me if I wanted to go to the hospital, and I said, no, I don't. I don't feel that bad. I mean, I hurt a lot, but let's not do that. And the guy was like, well, don't, you better go in case you got to call us later, and we have to take you then. And I was just, by that point, I was like, well, I get to stay home. And if any of you who have been stuck in the hospital for a while, it's no fun. Now I have. And what precipitated this fall was my stroke that I had about 2 years ago, and I'm still recovering from. Normally I can do most things. I can walk. I've got good dexterity in my hands again. Breathing and everything seems to be okay. But for some reason, the last 5 to 6 days, I've fallen like 3 times pretty bad. Something's going on. I don't know what that is, but we'll figure it out. I got doctor's appointments next week. So anyway, I did this fall. They got me up and they got me situated, and I was laying down, and I was okay the first day. I just kind of laid there. There was some pain, but I laid there and took some Tylenol and just kind of, rested up. And I was like, why, what, Tony? Are you still there or what? So anyway, I rested up, and I got some rest. Well, the next morning I woke up and I was in so much pain it wasn't even funny. It was, just touching my ankles was painful, and this and that and the other. And of course, my wife's best friend was over here. My wife and her best friend was there, and her best friend used to be a nursing aide, and they both just put the hammer down and said, "You're going to the hospital." And I'm like, "Oh God, you can't fight 2 women at once." It's a little bit hard, especially when they're just looking after you. So they took me to the ER. They took me to the emergency room. I had to go there by ambulance because they couldn't get me to the car. I couldn't walk. And it was weird. I mean, there wasn't a hell of a lot of pain when I put my foot down. There was. I mean, what you hell of it, like I don't know. It was painful when I put my foot down, but it wasn't sheer agony. What was going on is I could not twist my foot. I couldn't rotate it. I couldn't pivot, and that had caused some of the other falls. Not the one in the shower, but and this is why I couldn't. We were going to get me in the wheelchair and take me to the hospital. I couldn't get it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I was standing in front of the wheelchair, and I was supposed to turn around and sit down in it. I couldn't turn around. Nothing would work. It would just, I just would get stuck in that position. And so that's when they called the EMTs, and they loaded me up on a stretcher thingy and took me to the ER. They X-rayed me, and as far as I know right now, my leg is okay. Um, and that's the good news. The fact that I did not break that leg is blows my wife's mind, and now it's starting to blow my mind because I mean they were just a mess. I mean I can kind of remember what they looked like. She knows exactly what they looked like, and she was I have no idea how you didn't break something there. And I was like, I don't know, I just don't know. I mean I got lucky. God was looking out for me. So I get to the hospital. They put me in an ER room. I was only there about 2 hours. They X-rayed me, made sure nothing was wrong, gave me some prescriptions for pain meds and whatnot, and then sent me. And they let me go home. I got transport to go home from the hospital, which was nice because there's no way Jennifer and her friend could get me into the house. I'm just too big, and they're too weak, and they're not good. Neither of them were good under pressure there, and so anyway, I shouldn't say that. They're like all things. They'll act according to their gifts, as Spock says, and I think a lot of people underrate themselves, especially down south here. I remember my mom was born here in Georgia, not where I'm living now, but she was born further south, and she had this thing stuck in her brain that she couldn't do anything. She wasn't smart enough to do this or that or the other thing. She could cook and clean and all that, but she said, "Well, I'm just not smart enough to help you with your homework." And I see this attitude from Southern women too much. It's not that they can't do stuff, because like the nurses are all smart, and I've known a lot of them from being in the hospital for so long. But there's this subset that feels like they just aren't worth. I don't know if it's worthy is the right word. They just don't have the capability to, they don't seem to have the ability to complex problem solve, and they're kind of delicate, in a certain way, which makes them both sweet and problematic. But anyway, so I get home and they give me the medicine, and I lay down on my couch where I've been sleeping, and I probably should go back to the bed. It's easier to get out of. But laid there, and they basically, I can't be sitting up too long, but I can't be laying down all day. They won't be laying down with my foot up most of the day, and I've done a lot of that, but I can't stay completely sedentary or immobile, because I could get pneumonia, and I don't want that. I'd kill you. And I've had pneumonia like 3 or 4 times, and each time that you have pneumonia, you get more susceptible to it. So this is my health update, and what all this means is when I am allowed, probably after tomorrow is Saturday, maybe Sunday, I need to start walking, and I keep saying that, but I can't. I have been lifting weights here at my desk, and I have a little foot bike behind me that I'm going to set up, but I need to start getting that cardio in, and not only walking, but the endurance, get all of that built up, because I think that's one of my main problems is I get tired too quickly. I get winded too quickly, but the tiredness is partially what they call stroke fatigue. And the only way to really fight that is to get active, and I need to get active, and I haven't been active, and I've been in the house so long. When we went out when I went to the hospital, it was like almost 100 degrees outside, and it felt so good on me. And I was wearing a sweatshirt too. The guy says, "Well, how are you wearing a sweatshirt? It's 100 degrees." I said, "I'm always cold. This feels fantastic." And I got to talking to one of the, well, not PMS, what is it, EMT, I guess. And I figured out why I'm cold all the time now. I grew up in Alaska. I used to never get cold. But they've got me on a blood thinner called Coumadin, and that makes you feel really cold. And so that's what's been going on. That's why I usually wear a jacket even when I'm in here, in my little office doing stuff. So anyway, I want to, this is what's been going on, and this was mainly I'm stuttering. This is mainly here to test out my live capability. I guess I'm able to do it, and I didn't preview this or let my audience know or anything like that. But there we go. That's what I've been doing. So guys, y'all take care. Tony, thank you for stopping by. And we'll talk to you soon, everybody.